Hey guys, our decline again, average picker. So I'm going to try and knock out a couple more of these micro tutorials, and then we've got a challenge lock to pick. So hopefully I will have time to get to doing all of this. But I wanted to touch on this for someone, and maybe it'll be of help. Because I think this does require a little bit of an inverse of thinking, maybe if you're not used to thinking about it. So again, if you're new or newer or have never picked a lock before, and that's about how the key interacts with the lock. And so remember, keep in mind the key is making up the difference with the key pin to set the shear line. So if we could add and subtract materials between them, the more material we take off of the key, the more material we have to add to the key pin. And conversely, the more material we take off of the key pin, making it shorter, the more material we have to add to the key to make up that difference. So when you're picking, you are simulating the key. So that's the way you're working. So if we look at like this cut here, this is a pretty low cut. So we've taken a lot of material off the key. So that means our key pin has to have more material on it, which means this is not actually that high of a lift. If we look at this one, we've got more material on the key, so we've had to take more material off of the key pin. So because of that, you can see the key is lifting that key pin more, so you have to do more lifting. I think especially people who maybe one lock in, this might not be quite that intuitive. And I know a lot of the animations that you look at, the key pins and the drivers, I mean, there's some really good animations out there, but the key pins and the drivers all tend to often be the same size when they're showing you this. So it may be a little bit confusing. So again, a little cut like this, not much, it's probably just gonna take a little nudge. Where something like this, it's gonna take a much more, push on it. So yeah, just think of it that way. The key is not really a roadmap to how to pick the lock. I think the key becomes more useful as you get better at picking, being able to see the key, than maybe when you're initially starting out. At least for me, that was the case. But yeah, just remember, so, your higher, less cut key, less cut points on the key, the bigger the lifts you're going to have to do, and the more material that is gone from the key, just, the less picking you're going to have to do on that pin. So I hope that helps. That's about as briefly, I think, as I can explain it. So, all right, guys, you have a good one.